let's talk about the gig. And again, congratulations. How long have you been on the morning show?
So we just hit a year. So it started
It's just been a year
it's only
for you.
been a year. It started in June of last year. So, yeah, it just hit a year.
And what were your thoughts? Because I know what my thoughts were when they said Jason DeRusha is taking over from Mike Binkley, who was my buddy.
Yeah.
Over on the
Binkley,
other station.
I will say, Binkley was amazing about it and so nice and so kind. He's one of the nicest people, not just in news, but just one of the nicest people, period.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He was fantastic. I was nervous about it, to tell you the truth. I mean, we've been through kind of a number of different efforts at the morning show, and I was doing something very popular at the time, and so I was a little nervous about it. But I've always wanted to do morning TV. My news reporting work always had a fair amount of personality imbued in it, and so whether I was doing hard news or soft news, my goal was always to make a story feel like within the first 10 seconds of hearing the story, you would know right away it was a Jason DeRusha story. And this was before people started talking about personal branding and all this other stuff. I just figured I would make my stories so memorable that when the station looked, wherever I worked, when the station looked at people to lay off, I wouldn't be on the list.
Right.
So you just try to make yourself so valuable that you're not easily replaced, because all of us are replaceable.
But
I
have to commend you. Sorry, I didn't mean
Yeah.
you've done such a brilliant job with social media. You were on it, Twitter and tweets and all of this stuff way before anybody else on TV was. And
why is that? Was there a philosophy?
No, it was no strategy. It's just I loved it. I enjoyed that area. When I was in college, I used to be on Usenet news groups. I don't know if anybody's old enough to remember these things, but back when I was in college, where before the internet had pictures, right? So it was all text-based, but there were things called news groups. And so I subscribed to the Letterman news group, where it was just all Letterman fans talking about the show,
right.
And the Game Shows news group, where it was all people geeking out about game shows. You can tell what my influences are in my life, like Letterman, game shows, and Peter Jennings. Those are my three. Those areas are my broadcast influences.
So that just carried on.
So it's just natural, right? I was used to that area of online communication, and then I remember applying for a Marquette University alumni email address so I could launch a Facebook page. Just remember, before Facebook went to everyone, you had to have a university email address.
Yes,
so I got an alumni email address so I could launch a Facebook page.
Wow.
I had the MySpace page when that was big, and I was telling a story to a class of 6th graders the other day about the 35W bridge collapse here in the Twin Cities, and I was one of the first people on the air from the scene that night. And that night I went home and I was getting messages from people through MySpace. And of course, a bunch of 6th graders today who were maybe 1 when the bridge collapsed are looking at me like, what? What is MySpace? But yeah, that's what we were using at the time. So it was all done personally because I personally enjoyed it. And I think that's why I've been successful at it, that I genuinely enjoy it. It's not, no consultant told me here's what you need to do.
Yeah.
It just was, I like it. I still do.
Go with me now.